So we only have about an hour. Are there any maps in this you guys want to go over in particular?
I wasn't here.
Oh, okay. You see?
Two call wolf.
Okay. See. Okay, Hanamura, right? So you wanted? Okay. Oh my god, what are you guys playing? I don't really know what this comp is. It's not something I've seen before, but whatever. No big deal.
Right side.
Okay, so just for preface to all of you guys, you guys are going to control the tempo a bit harder than any of the other heroes in this comp. Like, really, period. Like, tanks are going to control tempo. Lucy obviously has about equal impact because you control speed boost, but one thing you'll see a lot at this level of play for like tier 4 Overwatch
Discord
is right about here, right? We should be, the second we peak, fully committed to just W king it now, right? Because for every second that we sit in this like awkward area of LOS, right, in front of the choke, we're taking free damage. The problem with being on attack is if we take free damage and we get too low that we feel like, okay, if I dive in right now, I may get picked, and we want to reset, we're losing time on the time bank. And we can, of course, go back and reset, but it resets your push entirely. If you trade this damage back, so like, let's say we play this awkward angle, and we take a damage trade against the defense, right? Yes, they do also have the chance to have to reset as well. The problem is they have map control, right? And they want the time bank to go down. So resetting's fine for them as long as we don't push in. So what they're going to do is soft reset around the corner. So they're still relatively safe because they're where they want to be on the map, right? So they're not really losing anything in that trade in particular. So when we go for these trades, if we're going for lethal trades, things that make it so they can't play those like safe points and resets because they're dead. The problem is we're also time bank goes down. So in tier 4 Overwatch, looking at the enemy team and immediately go in, right? If you're going to peek the enemy team, you're probably committed to just like you're in there at that point. But you know what I see in you guys' scrims and really any team around this level is we're going to peek and we're going to spend a lot of time just kind of sitting here. And our dudes have to burn Matrix. Our Winston's going to have to call for heals, maybe drop bubble occasionally. Our Ryan's going to have to drop his shield and call it a reset. Or other than that, we don't respect that we lost HP or lost bubble or lost time on Matrix. So we still try to go in. And now we're in the middle of a fight 6v6. And because they had defender's advantage and they didn't have to burn Matrix or burn their shield early or anything like that, they have full resources, right? And now we're in the middle of the fight, and we're missing half our Matrix. We're maybe missing a bubble or two. We're probably missing 300, 400 health overall to spam. Like, it doesn't make sense. But you mitigate that by the second you turn the corner, W king into them, right? Because you're giving them less time to farm you out in this like awkward zone where you're just kind of in like purgatory, not really doing anything. So with you guys controlling the tempo, I want to see a lot more of you calling like, okay, use the cover. Are we ready to go? Okay, 3, 2, 1. And then on 1, you guys all push in. Like, I want to see the team at like almost immediately once we call go or once we call 1, like committing to the fight. I don't want to see us hesitating. The other thing to take away from that too is before the fight starts, then we shouldn't be peeking in the first place on attack because, like I said, we have to reset. For on defense, we can peek all day long in a lot of cases, depending on what comps we're playing. But it doesn't make sense for us right now to kind of like have our Winston peek the corner and then still be here for 10 seconds. Like Pharmacy Widow pick comps, that's why those work, is because we're spending so much time in this like purgatory and risking getting picked. When you mitigate that, those comps are much
Over
less
back line, right side.
like valuable. That's why top tier teams still basically only play goats, because those little pick comps don't work against great teams who are good at cutting
Over
down on
back
this
line,
time.
right side, right side, right side.
Because you get a lot less chances to go for those picks.
Jumping in 3,
And then what you see here, right? Like
2.
Winston's still peeking, Diva's already burned half her matrix,
on the
Winston's
dash.
still peeking. We're finally in. Look at the HP. 204, right? Do we win this fight at a pro level? Probably not anymore, right? He probably just gets picked. So now we're missing our main tank and the fight's over. Because we hesitated.
On the dash in the back.
On a mechanical note, for any of you that play Winston, make sure if you're gonna jump into a hit scan player's face that you butt jump. Otherwise, you're just risking taking multiple headshots on the way there. Especially the higher up you go in ladder, the higher up you go in scrims. This headshot becomes a lot easier to hit once you start playing against better players, right? This level of play, you know, obviously not to bring anyone down, but they're gonna miss the shot a lot of the times. Whether just what they weren't ready to pay attention to where it was coming from, they should have been expecting it. Whether they just can't hit the flick on the monkey while it's in the air, whatever. But once you get to high level scrims and you guys get better at the game as a team, this is suicide in a lot of cases. That's a very, very long leap. So she has ample chances to kill Winston here, but she doesn't because lower tier scrims.
On the dash.
But I need to get ready for it. Should be playing mechanically as if you're playing against
help
best players in the game.
Go Ryan.
Go jump 1.
Anthem 2, sorry.
Oh fuck, sorry.
Okay.
I thought that was
Down
over. I don't know why.
1.5 right now.
Arya's
But
one.
their team's overextending.
She's full health now.
On the back line.
I'm back. We're only down 1 now.
She's full health now.
On the back line. On the healers. Healers in the back.
Hey, yo, Rhino.
Okay, diving in here is a bit weird to me. I feel like I just gave up and stopped shooting the Winston, even though he was purple and 100 HP. I don't know if I like that. Probably should have died there. And then we primal here, but I don't think this is needed as long as the team's saying like, okay, we won. But the problem is at this level, you also didn't hear that kind of stuff too. Like the people who are dead should be calling like, oh, we're up 2, we're down 1, we're up 3, whatever. And those up down calls like let people who are still in the fight who can't just like spend time to look all around them and see what's going on. No pass, but like, okay, we're up 2, all right, probably need to burn assault. Okay, we're up 1 and we have respawn advantage, probably need to burn this. Oh, we're down 2. Yeah, if we really want to win this fight, I'll probably have to ult here. Like that stuff should be kind of handed over to you from those passive calls from your teammates who are dead, or just from like maybe idle in the team fight in the back line, like reset, soft resetting, getting heals back, whatever. So I didn't really hear that here, so he just primals because he feels like if he doesn't, we might lose the team fight. I don't think we needed to be honest. I think it just Fatal Charge.
My bad.
Sorry. Is it just me or like your mic is kind of chopping a little bit?
Me?
Or is it just me? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, but
Okay, is this better?
Sorry, just talk.
no.
Testing.
Yeah, it's a little bit choppy.
Like just lagging?
Yeah, it's just like cutting in and out. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yours and Wolfster's are too. I think maybe it's just Discord, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's Discord
Okay.
because I hear it on Discord.
See, what server is this? This is US South. Hop over to my server real quick because I don't have server permissions here. Mine's US East, and normally that'll fix it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna post this and I'll delete it like right
Where do I
after.
do this?
I'm gonna send this to Wolf. If you can send that to them too, or I'll do it this way. All right. Just hop in any voice channel over there. I'll move you guys in. This one's in a different server, so it should be fine. Okay. It should be fixed now.
Yeah,
Um,
it sounds really good now.
Okay. Yeah, it's sometimes Discord servers are doing maintenance and you need to like shift over the server, but I don't have control of that other server, so this is my personal one. All right, we're gonna go back to playing it. So it was dropping when I was explaining the other stuff, but did you guys like understand it, or was it like really was the mic
Yeah,
quality really
like,
bad?
we
no,
we
you can
got it.
understand it.
It's
Okay.
just it's just
All right.
it just makes it better.
Okay, cool. All right,
On-
we'll go ahead and play then.
No, they
Yeah.
already used the roll.
They
Right.
use the- Okay, so they should have Junkrat.
Well, I killed Junkrat in the beginning, so I
Okay, so just recap again, right? Going into second point here, because second point favors defense even harder than first point because of the map geometry, like just incorporating really small chokes. Defense has high ground you have to try to take control of, and they already have power over that. You have to burn resources to get them off of that or fight them there. Tempo and abusing map geometry is now even more important, right? Like, so what we talked about earlier, we don't want to like, once we commit to a choke, we don't want to be sitting there in that purgatory just getting spammed out and trying to like take these stupid trades because we don't win that trade ever against the defense. What we want to do is hit the objective and go, or get on top of the enemy team and go as soon as possible. The second we turn the corner, bam, in their face, or bam, on the point, force them to drop, pick a target and go. No matter what choke you go through, right? There are obviously times where it benefits us to kind of maybe hold a Rhine shield and spam them out and farm some ult charge. Maybe we're 10% from grav and we want to get
Hello?
Um,
Yeah, you cut off. Hello? It's not me, right?
no, I can't hear him.
Jeez. I'm unlucky, bro.
Wait, did you try out the other day?
testing.
That was?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Jeez, man. Okay, Discord's being super bad right now. What's the last thing you guys heard?
Talking about
Pick a target and go in. Get in their face.
Oh
but
yeah, that
you
was a
can
while back.
spam the shield.
Yeah, right.
with
So like if
Rhine.
we need ult charges, right? So those like specific cases where sitting in that like that kind of danger zone where we're just like sitting there before the fight, where that might benefit us. Those are generally very specific, and the majority of the time we shouldn't be on their face ready to go. So looking at this comp, right? This like just obviously dive, 3 tank dive. Our win conditions are going to be, you know, maybe with our environmentals knocking them off high ground if they're controlling that and taking that from them, forcing them to play on point where Ashe and Junk are really bad and they get brawled on. But they have the Junk, right? So if we try to go top right and knock them off, you know, these heroes who do poorly against Junk are probably not going to have a good time. But then we look at the bigger picture, right? We're playing dive. Okay, so we look at which chokes benefit dive really well. Okay, that are open, give you a lot of open space. Main down there on the bottom, right? That's probably the best one. So with this comp, the way we would beat this and mitigate Junkrat just hard farming us is, like we said, get out of that purgatory, right, where we're not doing anything or taking bad trades. We want to get onto point or onto their face as soon as possible. So let's say they're holding top right up here in the building, okay, and we go from main, right? We immediately, for a top tier team, we'll go straight from main and boom, on their face as like the second we can, right? Diva's going to matrix our Winston in. Our Hamster might come in from an off angle, do his own thing. Hamster might engage first so that it makes space for Winston because Hamster has a better health pool. There's so much stuff we could do, but that is our win condition. Is a 3-tank dive with a Doom Fist to follow up. So we're going to abuse the angles that enable our win condition, right? So top right, like I said, that favors comps that have a Rhine because if they are doing something like a Junkrat spamming you out, You know, you can use the Rhine shield, you can walk forward into the spam, you get on top of them, they're going to die. But we don't have that. So top right, we can't really do. Left side, can't really do because we have a Zen, right? So we can't go left side and jump the gap. And that side kind of sucks anyway. But we're going to look to go main with this comp. We're going to look to get on top of the Junkrat, get on top of the Ashe, get on top of anybody who's overextended before these two heroes can spam us out. And if we do that, this comp sucks. That's why I don't like comps like this, right? Because they're very one-dimensional. They're relying on the enemy team making a misplay, and the misplay is just S-keying and not being aggressive and being very like disciplined about how they push. So you guys, the tanks, you know, we're looking to call, okay, let's abuse map geometry. Let's path this way, right? You guys are thinking about in your heads, which way can we go that makes me as the diva have to use less matrix before the fight starts? Which way can we go that makes me as Winston have to, or at the least possible chance, have to burn like bubble? Or like how can we path so that I can keep the most Rhine shield possible before the fight starts or when the fight starts? You know, same thing for all these tanks. So that's what you guys are looking to tell the team and trying to work the team into. So again, our best possible option with this comp is we go main, we get on top of them. You know, hamster pills for Winston, Winston pills for Diva, Diva pills for Doom. And we all just work together, get on top of their team, and they lose because this hero, this hero, this hero, and this hero all suck at brawling. So if we get on top of them, they're gonna lose the fight. I don't know how we path here. That's what you guys should keep in mind. We're looking to path always in a way that benefits our team comp.
Go left side. Can we all jump?
So we're calling left side, right? But the problem is we have Zen. So if we go left side, Zen's got to sit main the entire time, and they have a Sombra. So if Sombra sees our Zen main, she's gonna unstealth and kill him. Left side's probably a bad idea.
Top right.
What we can do if we want to go left side is go through bridge, and everyone drops down into coast. I don't know if I've talked about that rotation with you guys yet or not, but it's decent. It's not too bad. Sometimes benefits you if you want to play this choke over here, and they have to hold like either top right or they have to hold on the point as 6 and try to kill us before we get through this choke and get on the point. So the fight's going to take place around this area in this little box. And I'll stop using this terrible color. So yeah, we could do that. But really with this comp, we're playing dive. So we don't want to take these like long engagements, long like rotations and things like that. We want to turn the corner and be on their face. So right here, I just get on them.
And then I'm going to get out. Ready, 3, 2,
Yep,
1.
good. Remember butt jump if you're Winston. For any of you who play that. Hamster can do that too. Because he has a head hitbox. When he's
Run. Ryan got nano.
He's nano.
not in ball form.
You guys drop, I can trans. Somebody's on point.
I'm dead.
Okay, we got pretty split there. We want to identify which target we're on once we get up there. Like even before we dive, if somebody's overextended, we want to call that. Right there, Karibo gets on top of junk. Doesn't say anything. He just has a 1v1 a junk and dies. But if he said something, potentially his Zen would have known to discord the junk, so that the 1v1 is like guaranteed for Karibo. Or maybe anybody on his team comes over and helps, right? But if he never says anything, then his teammates might not know he's on that. So even though to him it may not have been like a big deal or seemed like a big deal to call that he's on junk, you got to worry about 5 other players in your team. And when you think about that, it's almost always a big deal to not be calling like this small stuff.
All right, I think we should switch to. No.
Yeah, I don't like
Just switch to normal dive.
I don't like this comp, but I don't mind us playing dive into that comp. I would just like a better dive comp because this one doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Titan, go. Yeah, there you go.
This is winnable.
Let's go.
Could win with this. It's fine.
They
Realistically, their team should just be playing goats on defense at a high level. But you can get away with stuff here, right? You can play stuff like 2 DPS. I think Sombra Junk's kind of bad, but 2 DPS can work here on attack and defense for sure.
Mercy main. They're all right side. Diving in 3.
Who is that? Oh, it's a Mercy. Okay. So she just burned Guardian Angel. We should know to just jump her right now.
Not gonna stay in for long. Not gonna stay in for long. I'm out.
I don't think I'd
in 3.
pick Tracer either into a Junkrat and the Sombra. That seems kind of weird.
Not gonna stay in for
You
long.
just get picked at that point.
Run on main.
Okay, this diva needs to really abuse the Winston bubble, especially against the comp they're playing. If this Zarya is glowing, so she has at least 40 energy, because if she doesn't, her suit won't glow. 40 energy Zarya, DMX diva all day long, like by herself, right? And then you have to consider there's a Rhine here, there's a player behind the Zarya, can't even tell who that is. Mercy can damage boost the Zarya or heal him. You know, Diva being up here in 4 people's face isn't going to do anything, right? But Diva playing the bubble with the Winston is just twice the value from a bubble. So it doesn't make sense for us to not be abusing that as much as possible, because Diva's mech is so easily farmable. So there, Diva's in the back, or Diva's in the front, Winston's in the back. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Also, if you think about it this way, this is for all of you guys, regardless of whether you play main tank or off tank. He should have called before he jumped, instead of just jumping up there, right? Because that just, you jump up there and your team has to react. So there's going to be downtime between, you know, when you get up there and when your teammates get up there. But if he gives a countdown or he says like, I'm jumping now, you know, like he's giving prep to the team. So he should have, you know, like we said, not been peeking this, right? Because he can't Tesla that far, but Zarya can definitely shoot him with orb from this far. So peeking from here instead of here probably doesn't make sense, right? But you know, bigger picture is he didn't call 3-2-1. He didn't call any kind of prep. So he kind of just jumps up there. And he might have, but I don't think he did. And regardless, you want to give that every single time, because almost as soon as Winston landed, D.Va should have been up there too. And now not only are we putting 2 players in the bubble, we're getting more damage off like over time, because D.Va was there to deal damage 2 to 3 seconds earlier. So we're getting 2 to 3 seconds extra D.Va damage. And honestly, D.Va should be burning Fly before Winston leaps, because leap travels faster than Fly. So like if you give prep, your D.Va should know right when you say like go, right when you say 1, whatever, she should fly just a bit before you leap. So you want to give your team prep always. And it's not just your tank line. Like you need to tell your DPS before you go up there too. Like when Winston landed up here, we should have had a tracer in the back of the staircase already ready to go. But he didn't give her prep. So now he's gonna land up here and we're not gonna get any picks because we didn't prep before the fight.
All right side.
Yeah, for sure.
Diving in 3, 2, 1. I'm not gonna stay in for long. Not gonna stay in for long. I'm out. Right on main. Right on main.
No, I don't want.
Thank you. What's up, Zarya?
Oh no.
Okay, there we go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey man.
Yo.
Hey, if we're gonna push top, we all gotta go left side and take high ground first, because I can't jump up there and still get sidelines. Spot.
Okay.
Redact point.
He has shatter.
Beat or just
They're on the bottom. They're on point. They're on point.
wait for her to grab.
Okay, same thing. We think about their comp.
You wanna push-
We don't really benefit from coming top right.
Oh no, they use shatter on you.
yeah.
You're right,
for the
you're right.
most part. Well, it's not too bad now.
Pushing her feet?
Problem is,
They're on the bottom. They're
if they decide to spam this with their Zarya, especially if she's high energy, we can't counter spam that for the most part, because we're going to risk again having to take time off our time bank, and if they have to reset, they're still just holding defense. So coming top right here could be kind of risky. If we know their Zarya's not holding this, I could see you guys making an argument for pushing here, but we don't know that. So pushing here from the start is kind of weird. We still have double dive DPS. We still have double dive tanks. I still think main is the play. We just didn't dive main well last time, and we pointed out why.
bottom.
So
They're on point. They're on point.
you always want to push the angle that gives your team
Go up top.
the best chance to abuse your comp or to abuse your ults the next fight. Because Mercy is just super overextended, right?
We'll pressure the Ana in the back.
If she Guardian Angels,
So
we should
let's,
just
I'm
punish
gonna
her
dive
right
with
away.
you. 3.
So again, same thing. Why are anybody peeking here, right? Like, D.Va's damage from here is less than 1 damage per hit marker. So like, when we peek right now, because we're a big hitbox, let's say Genji hits 1 shuriken on us, right? We took 28 damage, but we hit the Genji with 3 hit markers with the D.Va, so we did 3 damage. Like, and that's just 1 trade. There are 6 players down here, right? So when D.Va peaks, the trade value from that is so bad because you don't have. Like, it's not we have lethal damage. Like if D.Va peaks right now, she's not going to kill anybody from this range ever. So kind of weird for us to be peeking before the fight starts because we're playing dive. We're not playing like a Ryan shield with a Kree behind it. We're peeking before the fight makes sense. So you got to really keep your guys' win conditions in mind and tell your team like, yo, stop peeking that, or like, yo, do this or stop doing this, because if we're playing dive and we're not peeking or we're not pathing as a dive team, we're defeating the purpose of playing these low DPS heroes. We might as well be playing stuff like Widow and Kree.
With you. 3, 2, 1.
Ana's 1 back there.
She got out.
I'm hacked.
Okay, 3-2-1 there. Not bad. Kind of telegraphed though.
Ana's 1 back there.
She got out.
I'm hacked. Sombra hacked the top.
Fuck these them. Fuck them up. Good job.
Throw the hero. Good beat. Kill the Sombra.
Amber heals him too.
Oh,
Sorry, ulted me.
Okay, so we're gonna lose this fight.
no healers.
Same thing, dead players should be calling up downs, right? We know on 2CP it's already defenders favored, so if we lose a player early, we probably don't want to burn ults. Doesn't make sense to do that.
Heavy MP anymore.
Eagles, are you?
Yeah, I got you.
Go top right.
Yeah, aggressive trance. Probably blade during it too. You wouldn't die.
Mm-hmm. We could do that. We go in with blade. Blade.
Okay, we're talking about our ult economy here. I think we're looking to call for blade trance. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
mind that. Okay. So I don't mind it because they don't have a defensive ult of their own, right? So what we want to do then, if we want to make blade valuable and so that he can get value from trance, is, especially with the other Rhine now, we want to just go straight on point, have them drop on top of us, because now we can combo trance and blade. But if we go top right, we have to try to get Flacco on top of our blade while we're also fighting up here, and that's really awkward because chances are Flacco's going to die trying to go up here. You know, like it's kind of weird. Or the other option is we all 6 go top, we push them off high ground, and then we drop on top of them with trance blade. But we need to make sure Flacco and Genji, wherever we rotate, are close together the entire time. Let's see how this goes. So now we have the Ryan Zarya, right? So we benefit from going top right. Top right's good for Ryan Zarya. Main's good for Ryan Zarya too, but top right is much easier for Ryan Zarya to push than Winston Diva, because Zarya benefits from this choke, right? If they try to spam our Ryan shield out, Zarya's going to get 80 energy easy. And then when we get up there, if they don't have an 80 energy Zarya, we're probably going to win that fight like already. Because 80 energy Zarya is worth the same DPS as like 2 DPS heroes. She's insanely strong at that energy. Okay, so 3, 2, 1 there, not bad. We trance blade. Maybe a bit too early. That's fine.
Nice.
They waste the shatter, we get 4 kills. Now we should get on point. Tank should be looking to play aggro and hold the choke if you need to. Right, so now we're looking to immediately, like all you guys should be looking to LOS these areas. We want to see what door they're coming out. The second we see somebody, we want to call right door, left door. For high energy Zarya, for whatever, we want to be holding this. Any of you guys with one-shot potential, you're the best heroes to be holding these areas. As long as you have a somewhat brawly health pool.
Pushing door.
Or the ability to flank. So they don't touch, that wasn't too bad. Like we said, we push top right, Trance and Blade were stacked on top of each other. I don't mind the Ryan Zarya there. I think Winston Diva is definitely doable. I think we just kind of played it weird, but yeah, that wasn't too bad. And then here looks like we're playing Mei Doom. I don't know. I think Doom's kind of weird in current patch. I don't mind him on this map. This is one of the few maps where he's still okay, I think. I still think you're probably better off with Mei Ghost, though, if you're going to play Mei here.
We just felt like Doomfist would have been good because of the wall, the Mei wall. So it's so close that way he doesn't travel as far.
I feel you. I mean, I still think you should get the same effect from having a Diva. Like, of course, Wolf can punch them in the Mei wall, but Wolf should be able to punch them in the wall regardless the majority of the time. And then problem with Doomfist is he engages and that's it, right? If he doesn't get to pick, he's in a weird spot. Whereas like Diva is less one-dimensional. That's why most teams, if they're going to play Mei here, just play Mei Goats.
So it's pretty much the tank switching.
But I do think this is one of the maps where Doom's still at least decent. Big plays here is if we win this first fight and Lucky's carrying over energy from the previous fight, we can put him with Mei wall up in the window. And especially if they're playing like Goats, right? If they're playing a meta comp. So then the second team fight they come in, we're going to play very aggro at choke, but we're going to have Lucky behind them, vision splitting. We talked about why that's good previously. So he's going to be heavy energy from the previous fight. He may bubble Karibo so that he gets 40 more energy. We're going to take the fight in this area, right? In this little kill box, half on their side, half on our side. And he's going to be on a big flank with insane DPS energy, insane DPS, I guess. And we're going to win that fight. And you can do that every now and then. You don't want to make that play too often because eventually it gets caught, obviously. But it is a pretty strong play against Goats and comps like that can't check the window.
Zarya. Hanzo right side, be careful. Ash left side.
Alright, 345 is when you can tab and check their comp definitively. So we want somebody doing that always. What did they do here? They missed up a wall, right? They should just push in right away now because they know that wall's
Good job,
wall's down.
Push him up on him.
Doom gets nice 2 picks. So I'm talking about now we're going to win the fight. So this is where we want to Mei wall our Zarya up for the next fight.
Speed.
Okay. Bit of an overextend here. Yes, you're going to get energy, but we gotta have 6 for every fight on 2CP, because if we lose one fight, we lose the first point or second point. So you gotta be very careful about this.
Yep, she's shooting at me. I'm point. Tagged her once.
Okay, Zarya players, make sure you call when you're gonna bubble Ryan. Ryan's, if you want to make a play, call for Zarya bubble. Call if they have it. The problem with this one is we just burned bubble, got 0 energy from it. That's a big deal. Even bigger deal though is a good team, when they know that we've burned bubble on a Rhine and didn't get value, will immediately call to rush the Rhine. And if this wall isn't perfect, we're gonna lose this. We're gonna lose our Reinhardt now, most likely, because bubble's what saves Rhine and Goats meta, like almost definitively. So gotta be really careful about this. We're gonna use bubble. We have to get value always,
There's one.
so that they don't feel like they can just push in for free.
Oh, creep.
Nano for it.
Okay, should just hold shield the entire time here.
On the left, on the left.
Second, you got naded, especially against like we talked about. The better teams you play against, the more damage you're taking per second, because their headshot accuracy, their just overall body shot accuracy is greatly increased, like greatly increased. So you have to assume that if you live with 58 HP here against a team 500 SR higher, you probably lose. So the second you get naded here, you gotta just hold shield and S key the entire time and try to just pull out time for your team. And you may live that way, you may not, but you're gonna pull out as much
Oh, creep.
time and resources from their team as you can before you die.
Ryan's behind.
On the left, on the left.
Okay, this one's weird. Because he's not really. Well, opponent's not really needed. We've already got 2 picks, but
He was alone in the back.
yeah, and like we're lucky Ryan's here. But then the thing is, like, do we really need to kill, or like, do we really need to nano our Ryan for this to kill theirs? I don't know. I feel like we probably save this for next fight, and then we can nano anybody. We don't. That's the big thing is like you don't have to nano for a combo. That's like a fallacy. You can nano. How close is Kribo to Shatter right now? We could nano Kribo when he's 20% to Shatter. That doesn't matter because we're gonna help him build Shatter. It's like you're taking the ult charge from nano and you're like letting the other hero absorb it. Basically, is the way you should look at it. So you don't. People always say like, oh, never nano until you have blade or whatever, until you have a combo. I think it's completely false, right? I'll nano a soldier when he doesn't have visor all the time, just because I know next fight he is gonna get visor. So like in this case, he's gonna kill Ryan, but he could have done that anyway and gotten the same amount of ult charge. We probably want to save this nano for next fight. And regardless of whether Kribo has Shatter or he's 20%, whatever, we can give it to him. If Kribo has Shatter and we go, okay, we probably need to give him nano. We can give it to somebody else who needs ult. We could do that too. Maybe our Doom is still 80% away, 90% away, whatever. We could put the nano on the Doom, and he may do a bit less, but he's going to get ult from it. Like, there's so many ways to use it, but this is really overkill, I think.
On the left.
Yeah, and their end's already won anyway. I think Kribo only got about 20% off that nano.
Yeah, Ash must be fair up top.
Okay, so Ana's dead. Got to be very careful now. Missing a main support is a huge deal. I don't think we have a Mercy.
Yeah,
You can back out early though. You're short of healing.
Ana's coming back.
Yeah, we need to get out for sure.
That's Shatter.
Yeah,
They
we're
should
playing
have
Lucio
grab,
okay.
as well as Shatter, maybe Ono as well.
You guys got shattered.
Okay, getting a little awkward here. Good main wall though. Okay, so this is where the D.Va comes in play. In Korea, when you play Mei Goats, or you play a Mei here, they pick heroes like Pharmacy Sombra who just ignore the Mei wall. And they win by war of attrition, by like abusing high ground, and because you have a Mei, not a consistent hit scan DPS, you eventually lose that team fight. So like the standard play against Mei Goats in Korea is to pick a Pharah, and maybe pick a second DPS if needed. If not, you just play like a Pharmacy tank comp. Problem is, Doom can't contest Pharmacy or Sombra either if the Pharmacy or Sombra path correctly. Like, there's just nothing a Doom can do. You can outplay them if they misplay, but you're just hoping they misplay. So now we don't have a hit scan, and we don't have a D.Va. But we're playing Mei. So the biggest counter to our comp, we can't deal with. And that's one of the big problems with playing this. Because the D.Va can do both. And it does the things that Doom does much less consistently, but you don't always need the things that Doom does. This comp works without it.
Mercy's up top. She's resing.
And obviously, you got to take this on a like tier by tier basis. If you guys never run into like teams that know how to beat Mei Goats and things like that, by all means keep running this comp because like that's actually completely fine. But once you guys climb in ladder, you'll start to see teams if they're gonna run a Mei basically always have the D.Va too for that reason.
Sombra. No more Ash.
Okay, same thing here. We have Grav Blizzard. I talked to you guys about cycling your ultimates by consistency, right? Grav's very consistent. Blizzard's very consistent, especially they don't have a D.Va, so both these ults are just gonna pop off. But Doom ult isn't consistent, so like I can't tell what we're calling in the comms right now. I need to turn it up a bit. But because we know we cycle by consistency, one of these two ults should come out first, if not both. And then we use Doom ult second because it's a bit less consistent, but we can probably still rely on it to do something for us. And that will allow us to build Grav and Blizzard back faster. And you guys want to call that again because your role controls the tempo.
That'd be good. Usual.
Especially Rosaria. Okay. We got to grab second, not always preferable, right? So we're down 3 in the kill feed now because we grabbed second.
I'm down.
They're gonna get 4 kills. Even if Doom ult pops off here, we're not gonna beat them. So they're gonna cap this. Our Ana gets out. I think we gave it too much space. for sure.
Grab, yeah.
Okay, here we're playing May Doom again. This one's a bit weird, and May gets actually better on second point because Pharah can't afford. You can't afford to play Pharah here on second point. Like, if she comes through window, that's a really small choke. She might get picked. If she comes through this window, same thing. Comes through main, might get picked. Comes top left, might get picked. She goes coast. Takes her so long to get value from over there that eventually she dies. So Pharah kind of sucks on second point here against teams who are good at punishing.
They should be.
So now we're fine to play May Doom. This is where it gets okay.
They're coming up top.
Right, that's basically all she can do the entire time. And eventually she'll get barrage, and we just notice it and we kill her team before she gets it off, or we punish her while she tries to barrage. This May wall's iffy.
Reloading.
Whenever you can wall, it's good on the wall. Good. Take him.
We should just be okay. Yeah, this is good. I was gonna say we should just be walling vertically like that, and then letting our Winston and our Zarya farm.
Take him.
Evan Hills.
I'm low.
They just burned 4 ults.
Okay.
4 ults.
Evan Hills.
I'm low.
Let's go back a second.
They just burned wall. It's good on the wall. Good. Take.
Once he gets nano here, we don't try to commit to this at all. Like, we know that once he comes out of Blizzard, we're getting boned, so kind of weird for us to stay.
I'm low.
They just burned 4 ults. 4 ults.
Dead here. Mom cam and nano you when we go back out.
Okay.
Okay, so they're gonna do the same thing to us that we did to them. They're going to put any player forward with one shot potential and decent health pools, and they're gonna leave everybody else on point, and they're gonna stuff the chokes. Okay, we barely get on, re-impede. Looks like we're still gonna lose this fight for sure.
Sorry.
Nice. Good.
Nice. Sorry, there's one.
I
Go
got
for
it.
Donna.
I got it. Good job.
Still low.
Heals at 5.
Stay on point.
Do the touch.
Good rest Donna.
Oh man.
We had him on time though, I think.
No.
Okay, no big deal. Let's touch on the biggest problem here, though.
Take him. Push up. Keep pushing up. Good.
Oops, way too far.
That'd be good. They should still have Farah.
Okay,
And
with May Doom, we shouldn't be allowing them to come up staircase in the first place, because like this door over here, especially if they're playing Ryan Zarya, we probably know they want to use this door because we talked about why earlier. So like, we should already have our May positioned in this area so that when they come, through this door, she can like horizontally wall, and then we can hard push either down the choke, or our Doom's over here with our May, and they're gonna punch whoever got caught into the wall, whatever. And the other thing is the May can play here, and if they come main, she's gonna hear that, right? And so she just looks down, puts the ice wall up, and then they're gonna be caught with a player or two back here, 5 players back here, and 1 on the other side of the wall with us. We're gonna burn them either way. When you put the May up here like this, the problem is it's harder for her to hear when they're coming main. It's harder for her to punish this door, and it's going to be too late if she tries to punish this door, so our team can't follow up. And we got put in this weird position where we did a wall up here, we didn't get anything from the wall, and then they nanoed Ryan, and he just kind of like clapped our team with 3 or 4 kills. So I don't really like this positioning from us, and it kind of hurts our tank line too, because it makes it much harder for you guys to follow up consistently. Also, I don't understand
Yeah, you still have the Sombra Fair.
this tank comp in particular.
should be.
I guess it's not too bad. This is fine. But we need our May and our Doom holding top for sure, I think, if we're going to play this.
Hurry and get out.
I'll go ahead and skip.
There's one.
Wait, did you guys hear that? Was my mic muted?
No,
Yeah, we
heard
heard
you.
it. We heard it.
Okay, sorry. My mic was like fucking up for a second. We're going to go ahead and skip the rest of Hanamura. I don't know if you guys play this map out or not.
We don't.
Alright,
No, we
go
didn't.
ahead. We'll speedrun one more real quick.
I think it's
Any requests before I just play Nambani?
One
just
question. You
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
One question about Diva DM. Do you think that we DM him while he's diving, like while he's jumping, or while he's like just?
Oh, 100%.
got in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, because, okay, like I said, he's going to call 3-2-1, right? And because Diva's Matrix is, because Diva's fly is slower than Winston's leap, like, you actually want to fly first, because then Winston's going to be after about a quarter second of both tanks burning that cooldown, Winston's going to be like right in front of you the entire time you guys are both in the air. So he's going to be like definitively in your matrix, right? But if he says 3, 2, 1 and he leaps, and then you try to follow him with fly, because he leaps so much faster than fly, if you try to matrix him in the air, you may not be reaching him. So that's why it's important for him to call 3, 2, 1, and you kind of start flying as D.Va before 1, or like if he calls 3, 2, 1 go, then he should either wait after he calls go for a second, or you should fly as soon as he says go, whatever. You guys should find a way to time it so that D.Va's starting her fly first, and then you guys can be like balled together in the air basically, and you land at the same time. You're abusing Winston bubble for as long as possible together the second it starts. You want to get max value and land like efficiently, very, very well. So that prep time beforehand is really, really important. And that's why it's important to us to not take pathing that makes our D.Va have to burn matrix before a fight and things like that. Like, we don't want to be letting the Junkrat hit free grenades for no reason while we're playing a dive comp. We don't want to let their Widow go for free headshots for some reason when we're playing a dive comp. Like, we turn the corner, that's it. We're W king. Like, we've committed, because we don't have a Rhine shield to sit behind all day. Like, if we have to drop our bubble as Winston, that kind of bones him, because he can't dive now for 10 seconds. If he doesn't have bubble, Winston can't dive in most cases. So, like, we only have one shot to start the dive off cleanly. Whether it gets dirty from there on, like, that's whatever. You can grind that out in VODs. But easiest thing to fix is just to stop peeking comps that like want you to peek them. And especially when we're playing dive, why would we ever want to peek when we have a Tracer with 150 HP? Winston maybe have to drop bubble. Like, we've talked about that. So turn the corner, you go 3, 2, 1, give prep. Everybody gets on top of them. You start the fight. Like, that's super important for Zarya, D.Va, whatever. Cannot be burning tank cooldowns before a fight. And there's exceptions, obviously. If we want to like matrix a Widow so she can go for a peek before a fight, or we want to burn bubbles for energy and tell the team to hold on, whatever. But in general, just turn the corner and go. We're gonna go ahead and play Nambani. Unless you guys have a Koth in here somewhere, I'd actually prefer to go over that. Probably be easier to just grind through real quick.
They're running 5 bastions. I saw the opportunity.
Is their team GM?
They should.
Lucian's a gold, 2,300.
They were playing with the season high instead of current, so I think they were 3.3.
Okay.
And their
There's
coaches
plus
decided to
two.
play after 2 or 3 matches. So we won the first 3 matches, and then their coaches decided to start playing.
Weird flex. I don't know.
We still won after, anyway.
Oh, nice. Okay. See, what do you guys play at the end? Grinded so much Busan and VODs, I'm just sick of looking at it. Lijiang, let's do it. Let's get it, boys. Alright. Okay, I'll try to pause as little as possible here. If you guys have any questions, again, just feel free to chime in. Okay, playing Zen Goats. Zen Goats benefits from going main, not white room. If you go white room with Zen Goats, a lot of things can go wrong.
I play brick.
Okay, yeah, we go white room.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that. Especially not through black. Black's the worst rotation. So, like, problem with white room is if they play May Goats and we play Zen Goats and we go white room and they wall us off, we lose that 10 out of 10 times, always. Then, if they play Ana Goats, we play Zen Goats. In white room, there's those little, like, I don't know, they're like informational, like boards. They kind of sit here on the right side, and there's the doorway to black right here, right? Problem with these things are Ana can sneak around these and like go for weird rotations, and we can't always keep track of her. So if she gets a nade in our backline from using this to block LOS and kind of surprise us, nade is what beats Zen Goats. Like, that's the only reason Ana Goats was meta for about a month, was Anas were hitting those nades until Divas figured out where they'd throw them from and consistently ate them, and Ana became really bad because if you throw a nade and it doesn't hit, you probably lose. We'll figure white room, it's very easy for Ana to hit a nade. So if they're playing Ana Goats, we lose too. But if we go main, both those things don't happen. And also from the start of the fight, our Zen can see basically everything. So like one of the highest damage dealing heroes and goats is now super enabled, right? So you want to go main, just to deny those two things most importantly, but also because it helps your Zen out a lot to be able to shoot the entire time.
Yep. Orbs on D.Va. Orbs on D.Va.
Go Ryan.
Yeah.
Run.
I think they're playing Zen Goats too, so they definitely misplayed from also going white.
Zarya on me. Zarya high.
Zen.
Behind you.
Okay, very good. So we want to prioritize staying alive rather than getting kills here. If we can get kills, by all means push them. We're going to cap, hold, choke super aggressively. so that our Zen and our Zarya can farm ult charge. That's what's most important about this.
Right side. Move back,
When resources get low and the tanks, you guys are gonna control the tempo here. When we're running out of matrix, we're running out of like bubbles completely. Need to call no matrix. Need to call no bubbles. Need to call, especially this is the big one, like shields half or shields low. And then when you guys feel like it's no longer safe because maybe they might come in right now with more resources than you, like maybe we haven't seen them burn matrix in a while, so they know they have full matrix, but we've burned all of ours. We might feel kind of unsafe, right? So, you know, when we're holding this and we don't have an ult to use up here or anything like that, you guys need to call like, I'm out of shield, reset to point, right? And you can go back to point, and while you're S-keying back there, your shields are generating and things like that. So we want to hold this as long as we can, but when it gets unsafe, it's not worth like dying on this hill. You know what I mean? So, gotta watch out for that. And then also, there's some ults that are good to use up here, and some ults that are bad to use up here. Like Grab Diva Bomb is okay up here, but I'm of the preference that if we can hold out and just bait them back to point and pull out more time on the clock while we're defending, because Grab Diva Bomb's already like a team wiper. If we use it correctly, we're gonna put more time on the clock than just burning it up here and killing them quick and then just quickly rushing back in. Also, by doing that, we give our Zarya more time to set up a good grab, like a really strong grab. So that's one that benefits. Shatter's really good up here. It's not too bad, but it's also pretty good back on point, right? So I don't mind you guys using these ults up here, but sometimes if you feel like you can pull out the time clock, going back to point and baiting them there and then burning it is gonna help you out a bit. And it maybe takes away one fight if you do it enough throughout the map. So I don't mind it. It's a bit safer sometimes to do it up here. Sometimes it's unsafe to do it up here if you mess it up. Got to keep that in mind. Got to really worry about their ult economy. But yeah, you guys control the tempo. So let's say our shield hits half here, and we feel that they may have 2,000 shield, and if they get in, they'll have 1,000 shield advantage. Our Ryan's going to call, I'm low on shield, come back to point, and we'll fight from there now. But we did hold choke for quite a long time. We stopped them from just pushing in for free. So we got some free time on the clock, and we got some free ult charge too. Because, as we said before, the defending team that controls the map, has map control, in this little purgatory where both teams are shooting each other, the defending team will gain more ult charge per second almost always. So like we're fine to stay up here for now because we want to farm ults.
Play at the little fucking spaceship. Yeah. Right side. Play at the buffalo. On the right.
Epic Hills.
Oh. You're running low.
How?
1-3.
Oh, that's an egg.
Okay. Gotta be careful about this one. I'd probably take fight on point here instead of in the small room. The small room has a lot of like variables and anything can go wrong. And their diva actually made a great play of controlling black room before we could, because then she has an off angle, so her damage like this team fight's it's gonna be pretty insane. And you can kind of notice that as the team fight goes on. If we got control of this first and their Ryan was back here, or had to overextend a bit to make space for his team, that means our diva is like shooting past Ryan shield. But we didn't do that, so I would probably avoid taking a fight here always if I could, because it's just there's so many things that could go wrong. But we can go back to point and make them play our game because now we control the chokes.
So if you're ever in this situation again, the diva should rush the black room.
I think the team should be there.
Or,
I think the team should be there before they get there.
Yeah,
so if we see them coming up top left, we should go in there before they get in there.
Yeah, you can do it that way. If you want to stuff them in this choke, you can go ahead and do that. But if you don't do it, you put yourself at a very big risk, and that's why I wouldn't do this. But if it fits your guys' play style, whatever. If you can catch them on rotation here first, then by all means, if you can stuff them in this choke and you get control of black room, I think you're in a decent spot to win the team fight. Another big reason why I don't think I'd take this fight is because we're missing key ults right now, but we're very close to getting them because we won the first fight. And because we won the first fight, we know we're probably closer to these key ults than they are, right? Like our Zarya grab and our Diva Bomb. We don't have them yet, but we're close. So I probably would want to extend this fight a bit. But rushing into them right now means we can't abuse that win condition because we don't have it. So we're just hoping we win basically a flat out 6-on-6 right now, with very little ults considered. Maybe we have one ult, maybe they have one, but we're closer to them at the key ults. We're closer than them to the key ults, so we should have been abusing that. Going back to point, playing slow, make them take a slow fight, and bam, the second we get it, okay, I've grabbed Diva Bomb. You shoot it in, we win the team fight definitively. That's probably how I'd want to play this. But yeah, this room has always just kind of been bad luck, it seems.
Yeah, and I think after this fight, we learned that we should start rotating a little bit faster.
Yeah, if you're going to push them there, especially.
Oh, that's big, that's big.
Oh, that's a...
Come back.
I don't know if I like that pin from there, honestly. It killed our Brig, but he gave up a lot of space for his team. We still have control of the point.
Not yet. Wait till we're
we gotta get out.
Yeah, I don't mind this. It's fine. We're recontesting. If we're going to recontest, we got to commit to it. Okay. Kind of weird. Now we're gonna wait for for full team then. If we didn't touch.
Alright, we're right here.
I have trance. I can save it for a grab. Or shatter.
On the run.
Amping heals.
Right. So small thing. This is just the very minute things that separate like top tier players from tier 4, tier 3 players, right? The second a top tier Ryan turned this corner, he's committed. Like he's W king in, right? Because we don't want to be in this purgatory like we talked about. We don't want to be in an area where the defense is dealing more damage per second than us. So like when you watch Fisher, when you watch whatever your favorite Owl main tank is, the second they turn this corner, they would only turn the corner when their team's ready. And so like there's no reason for them to esky or for them to side strafe, right? They're on top of the Rhine, they're going. So if we're not doing that, we did something wrong. And it's not always the Rhine's fault, but there's something at this play, right? So we side strafe for about a second or two there. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but that adds up over the map. And there's always something
Ryan, focus Ryan.
wrong there in the
Focus Ryan.
in the back middle.
Good shit.
So get Ryan there, they kind of do the same thing.
Briggs one, nice.
We're going to double cap off this. Ryan and Brig, that's enough to win a team fight for sure. So now we want to finish off the fight. We want to be using Ryan shield so they can't counter farm us, right? So we can farm them from behind the shield and they can't farm us. That's a big factor in GOATs, especially the GOATs mirror matchup, is how you can farm your ult economy per second versus theirs and how you use your ult economy. That's literally the only thing that decides GOATs versus GOATs. So we want to be as like efficient about that as we can.
Yeah.
I'll beat for shatter.
They're going right.
Okay, so we have grab Diva Bomb here, I think. They just have grab. Right, so they beat us to it. We don't want to go in there now. I wouldn't even fight White Room. I'd fight on point.
Grab in the middle.
So we do have grab Diva Bomb. They're sitting here. They're sitting here all day long. Free. That's really good.
Everybody.
Okay. Now, if we knew that on this fight we're going to grab Diva Bomb, while you did hit the pin, it's a good pin. What you have to worry about is when we grab Diva Bomb here, can we reliably break this Rhine shield before, like right when bomb goes off, or can we push the Rhine shield away so that bomb actually gets the kills? Because if we don't do that, then we just committed 2 of the biggest ults in the game and nothing happened, and they're going to counter ult us and we die. So we're very scared about that. So either we grab Diva Bomb and we do something to guarantee Brig hits the shield bash on the Rhine before the bomb goes off, or we grab Diva Bomb, our Zarya walks up into the Rhine's face, self bubbles, Brig holds shield in the Rhine's face, and then our Rhine pins the Rhine away. And the reason why we do that with the Zarya and the Brig is because if our Rhine just tries to pin the Rhine away and the Zarya and Brig aren't there, their Rhine's going to turn and shatter our Rhine. And he's going to put his shield back up. So we're not going to get the kills from grab Diva Bomb, and our Rhine shattered and probably dies. But if
so on that one, I went for the Diva because I don't know if it was this game or the last game. They were eating a lot of our grabs, so I thought by taking her out of the way, it would have helped. But like you said, if I would have gotten the Rhine, gotten the Rhine pinned, we grabbed and Diva bombed, it would have been a better situation if I could have taken the
Yes, because if Diva's eating grabs, that in my opinion is a misplay on the Zarya's part more than it's a good play on the Diva's part. Because if you're getting your grabs eaten as Zarya, you're doing something wrong. Yes, their Diva may be like playing sick angles and just has great like intuition as far as like grabs go. That happens a lot when you play off tank because you just get a feeling for like, oh, he's gonna grab now for sure. He's stepping too far forward. Like you can do that as Diva, yes, and those are good plays, but it's still the Zarya's fault for getting her grab eaten. So we need to focus on that first. The other thing is too, if you want to punish that like really hard and consistently and without burning something major like a pin, is we just have our Brig walk up to the Diva. And the same way you used to do Brig, Shield Bash, Shatter, you do Shield Bash, Grab, right? So she just calls 3, 2, 1, Shield bashes the Diva so she can't Matrix for a second, and then Zarya shoots her Grab in, right? And then you get to keep pin and keep your shield up the entire time. So that if they have Shatter or something, or if they're just because they're goats and can kill a player in 1 second, we can keep shield up, right? And that's a bigger factor. So I think if we want to keep the Diva out of the play to guarantee Grab goes in, just commit the Shield Bash. And then, once we get the grab in, Brig walks back up, like we said, gets in the Rhine's face. You're not afraid as our Rhine to pin anymore because he can't shatter you. You just pin him away, and right before bomb goes off, bam, and then we get the 5k, 6k, whatever. That's how you want to play that for sure.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Big. Everybody.
They trance on it.
Was a good pin though. We get the DMAC, they trance, and we get a big shatter off in the corner.
I'm saving trance.
I think we beat it.
Yep,
yeah, we did.
Trance.
Okay. And they grabbed without Diva Bomb, which I don't like because this wasn't last fight for them. If they just died here, they could have taken one more fight with Grab Diva Bomb next fight. But they got scared. So they burn Grav, didn't get value from it. That's a big deal. That probably ends the map for them, honestly. Now they're going to Diva Bomb without Grav. That should be even worse than grabbing without Diva Bomb. Diva Bomb sucks, honestly, as an ultimate compared to Grav. We're going to have Shatter here. We definitely win this fight. There's no way we don't.
Lucio.
Till shatter.
I missed it completely.
All good. And then we like choke. Yep. So he may touch here. No, he's not going to. So we win map. Yeah, they thought they had one fight left because they saw 80 on the clock, but like we've all talked about before, that's 28 seconds. You can easily die, respawn, and get back in 28 seconds. That's no problem. Actually, that may be longer. No, it's 28. Yeah, but either way, that's dumb of them to grab.
I should have. Titan, do you want to play?
Okay, so now we're playing Winston Diva, which is probably what we should be focusing on more. You guys goats has been decent. Now we're playing 2-2-2. I think playing a Kree here is kind of really weird against a lot of comps. I think it just gets jumped on without like a Ranz or a Brig to protect him.
Which way, left, right?
At least against a good team. I know Titan's a good Kree, but it doesn't matter how good. You can be a world-class Kree. You can't beat certain comps if you're just getting jumped on all the time.
Yeah, they have Pharah.
Orb's on the Pharah.
Going right, Pharah on the left.
What do they have? They have Ryan?
Okay, same thing. So their win condition is kind of the same as ours, right? We have Pharmacy Kree. We do want to shoot them before the fight starts because we're not really brawly. We're more like picky. So we want to make space for our Pharmacy and Kree to do work before the fight starts. But we also want to avoid their Pharmacy too because they have just as much pick potential as us.
Diva, Doom.
So we're just looking to break LOS because obviously Winston, Diva, all these heroes have no damage cross map. So why would we try to do cross match damage? Like, okay, and he's super misplaced from overextending.
Yep.
Kind of what we're talking about. We go in Zen, the second Winston dies. I don't mind this. We're making a lot of space for our pick DPS. Now we win this fight. Almost guaranteed.
Close to him.
Okay.
Still cap.
Pharah's half on point.
Our comp's kind of bad, but their comp's even worse. Trying to play Doom into Pharah Kree is going to be rough. For sure.
I don't have res.
Spamming.
Okay.
Diva.
Get that back.
Good job.
Nice.
Alright, that was good from Kriba.
They should
Made
be
enough
close.
space. Didn't go in until I saw that Winston died.
they're
Now we're going to
probably
very
50%
heavily control this choke.
Pharah.
We want them to be punished, and we want to be able to make space so our DPS feel comfortable to shoot the gate as the enemy team comes in.
No,
Probably
maybe
Trance on the
70%.
barrage.
Okay.
Trance on the barrage.
Here we have expendable ults, right? We have Deadeye, we have Valk. These aren't ults that you save. These are very throwaway ults because they do stuff for your team other than team wipe, right? If Deadeye gets a team wipe, the other team really messed up. That ult kind of sucks. Valk is another one of those ults that gives your team a lot of buffer, right? 5-man healing beams, 5-man damage beams, especially damage beams because they help you build ults faster. It's just a buffer ult. It's really good, but it's not one that you save on. So what Kitty should be looking to do here is the second they come in, we pop Valk and we just go aggro into their face because we know that we have ult economy and they don't because we won the first fight pretty hard. So we Valk, we get in their face, they just die very easily.
Barrage, Valk on the monkey.
Because they're most likely not going to have Valk as well. And even if they do, we still have more ults than they do.
Kitty, whenever they use monkey ult, you can probably hold on that one. Monkey point.
Okay, I feel like we could have done a better job of making space for our Ferricree there to kill them as they came in.
Good job.
What happened to Bubble?
Nice. Oh, Doom got me.
It looked
Really?
like I destroyed.
Yeah, that was a good bubble though. You put it at a perfect range for the wait. No, because they're matrixing it. What did happen? We're matrixing barrage. How did bubble break?
Monkey
What?
point. Fucking monkey.
Did it fall through the map? I hate
Doom
that.
got me.
That may have been what it was.
Like, it looks like it did because it didn't even pop up.
Yeah.
Nah, and the thing is too, when you bubble into a Pharah's face, it's not like she does so much damage that it just breaks bubble before it exists. Like bubble exists the second you press E on the map. Like it teleports onto the map. So she should have died here. If the barrage did enough damage to break it, it did enough damage to kill her. But we're matrixing barrage. Your bubble fell through the map, dude. Unlucky. What a stupid bug.
Good job.
That's so dumb. That was a good bubble though.
Doofus.
Yeah, crazy. It would have killed her. That was a good play.
I'm down.
Okay, disengage.
Okay, we pull out time here.
I'm still in it.
Don't go for kills, go for stall. So like the second, and this is what I'm talking about. Like the people who dead should be calling up downs. So if we call like 3 down, our Winston knows like, oh shit, like I'm not killing anything with primal here. And even if I do, they still cap. So he's gonna immediately go into, instead of kill mode, like I'm gonna burn leap every time it comes off cooldown, every 2 seconds, and just leap. Like he's looking to just pull time out now at this point. Because going for kills, it's just going to feed ult charge to their supports, and it's probably not going to kill anything. And it's going to mean he dies a lot earlier than he needs to. That's what I mean. Because we don't call that, he just gets into Doom and D.Va's face. And then we call disengage, right? But I don't think he should have. I think he should have died on point. Honestly. If there's only a Doom and a D.Va there, if you play your bubble correctly and you play your primals correctly, I think you can live for a long time, right? If it's only you and there's like 6 people there, yeah, you should probably just get out because you're only going to stall for like 1 or 2%, but you're going to feed a ton of ult charge. But with only those 2 there, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think you could probably stall for 10-15%, honestly, by yourself until other people get there.
And if I'm pushing the Doom around, it's not like he can get ult off of me. And...
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what's gonna happen. Is like you're gonna leap away from them and just keep breaking, like just staying out of their sights. And when they finally get on top of you, you swing and just leap again. Like you were good there. But we need our team to call like, okay, we're down 3, we're down 4, because that's gonna change, like we said earlier, how tanks like play the fight because they can't just afford to all look around and shit. Okay, so we have a team full of expendable ultis. We can't be affording to like, you know, worry about perfect ult economy and I can only use it if they do this, blah blah blah. No, we get in, we make space, and we hit the Deadeye, we hit the Barrage, we hit the aggressive Valk, whatever.
Next target. I can't see it. Doofus.
We're aggro Valk from the start, so is their team, but we still have Deadeye.
Doom dead.
As far as I know.
Winston. D.Va actually.
So Barrage,
Focus D.Va. D.Va dead.
Good, really good target focus from you guys here.
Okay.
Nice. Still sitting on trance.
Okay, so 4 ults. We won that fight pretty heavy-handedly, but
let me know where you're gonna be.
These are these ults where like you almost shouldn't even wait to see how the kill feed plays out before you use them. Like,
and not put bubble on you.
I don't think they're worth it.
Yeah, because they all get them pretty quick. Mercy
gets
it quick. McCree gets it quick.
Yeah, and these aren't team fight winning ultis. These are ultis that kind of shift the fight into your favor most of the time. And of course, like sometimes you get 6k Deadeyes and 6k Barrages, but that's few and far between. You shouldn't ever expect that.
Monkey one.
Only ult we have that's a team fight guarantee is B or trance, sorry.
That's fine. Good job. They'll have monkey ult on this one, and they'll probably have fair ult again.
See, their team kind of did that well. They lost 1 player, and they're like, let's guarantee we win this. They just pop trance and like finish the fight up.
And they'll probably have fair ult again.
I'm good now.
Because they were already a player down on us too, or they already got a pick on us too. It put us into even, and they took the even team fight odds away from us by trancing. So here, we can't stand still. They're playing pick comp. Just looking to break LOS until the fight starts, and the second we go through choke, like I said, we want to deny their fair as many rockets as possible, so we're going to W key and get in instantly.
Viva, engage with your
if we're still playing Kree, which I really don't think we should play Kree here because he has such a hard time getting space, like finding space to actually play from without getting picked. But if we are, we got to play very aggro and pull the attention away from our Kree.
Monkey.
D.Va goes in first. I don't like that. I don't like D.Va in first ever. I think if we have Winston, D.Va, Winston's always in first because we need to have that bubble to play around. It's just as important for our D.Va as our Winston. And then whenever bubble breaks, then the D.Va starts matrixing herself, and by then she probably has fly back up, so she flies away. Then matrixes back up. Like, you gotta play it correctly. Deploy out as much time as you can with your tanks, and maybe go for picks or whatever. We go in here. It doesn't make sense to me.
Monkey.
Especially the Winston, but it's backwards. So now D.Va should be low. Yep, she had a D-mech. Or she had a bomb to remech. Somehow gets a 3k off a remech bomb. May win this fight now. I don't mind this. Gotta be careful though, because it feeds a lot of ult charge. So if anybody can follow up, you always want that. If not, whatever, it's at your discretion to decide whether it's worth going for or not.
Monkey.
Good pick on Mercy. We knew she just Valks. Should finish this fight off. It's like 3v2 or something.
I need heals.
This is last fight.
3v2, but we have 1 HP on Winston. Okay, we're gonna so now same thing. I'd really like to see us making space for our DPS to just spam out their choke, maybe go for some picks before the fight starts. That is our win condition anyway, so letting them get all the way to point before we start our fight can be weird sometimes, kind of awkward. Then our tanks have to play this weird passive play where they're kind of pretending they want to go in but never do, to just pull vision away from their DPS and make a lot of space. And that can be awkward sometimes. So again, same thing. We're not really doing anything. Our D.Va's matrixing. One thing you could do, Karibo, is make sure, like, right before the fight starts, if you bubble, like, relatively soon after the fight ends, you can probably get your bubble back almost guaranteed before the next fight starts, always. So, like, you can walk over to choke and be like, I'm bubbling, like, spam, right? And then won't always help, but if you do it, like, every now and then it will, and that's all that matters, basically. And then Lucky Boy should be matrixing our DPS too, so they can be before the fight. And just get his full matrix back before the fight starts. Okay, good pick on their Pharah. They overextended onto our Winston, didn't get the kill though.
Doom dead.
I think it's even.
Killer monkey. Do one.
We got this. We got this. We got this.
Nice.
Monkey on
Use
point.
Dom to clear him off if we need.
Yo,
Have Tracer.
she's one. No recall. The left.
No res.
Nice job.
Nice.
Left the bomb.
Not too bad. We're gonna go ahead and call it there. I know it's 10:20 for me. I guess 11:20 for some of you guys. Do any of you have questions?
No.
What would you have ran instead of the McCree?
Probably just a mobile, like self-sufficient DPS. You know what I mean? So like Tracer, Sombra, even Widow. Like Widow, if they spend the time to invest to go kill her, either she grapples away and they didn't get the kill, or they invested too many resources because Widow can play very far away from your team in like Crossfire. So when they go for the Widow and like burn those movement cooldowns to get on top of her, they may kill her, but they're still quite a bit away from our team. So like they invested too much to go kill her, right? So like she just by existing gets really good value, and that's how she's self-sufficient. She dies a lot more than the Tracer and the Sombra, but her ceiling, like to do work for our team, is much higher. So like she's a bit more high risk, high reward. I just think she's definitely better than Kree though, because Kree like doesn't have that cross map potential that Widow does. He's much less mobile, right? If you get jumped on his Kree, you're just dead. If they jump on you correctly, you can't flashbang 3 players and kill them all. Widow can though, right? She grapples far enough away. She catches their rotation in time, especially if you tell them like Widow, they're coming to you. She can easily get away from that. So she's better. Tracer's better because Tracer's self-sufficient, right? She goes for 1v1s. It gets bad. She recalls. Sombra's self-sufficient. She has stealth, translocator. EMP is a great ultimate there, especially against Pharmacy. EMPing the Pharmacy out of the air, that's a free like double kill every single time on that map. So just better options. You want self-sufficient stuff there because it is a Koth. It's a very awkward map. You got to get across that bridge, and he's an immobile hero, and they have a hard time doing that. So just kind of a weird pick there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess we just got to look at what they're playing and change.
Yeah. And yeah, like coming out of the gate with it might not be too bad because like you can get across the bridge before they can punish you almost all the time. But then retaking with it is going to be so hard to do because he's so immobile and like easily diveable and stuff. So then you like really want to swap if you're going to play it. Just like that May Doom comp, like it's good until they have some sort of advantage, and then it's so one-dimensional that's very hard to make work at a high level. It's like they're going to punish it. But those like self-sufficient heroes are always really hard to punish on their own. So you can kind of play them into a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, if nobody else has questions, I'm gonna call it there then.
No, I appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah, thanks, coach.
Thanks.
All right. See you guys.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Later. Wait, are we doing the 6 stack right now?
Yeah, we can. Go to the Wolfpack one.